Okay, so my name is Alicia Hayek, and this is my Module 16. So the essential question looking at that, I would say I'm going to focus on what our school is doing right now, and that is we just recently formed an MTSS committee. Last year was our first year ever having an MTSS committee at my school, which is kind of crazy. And so right now we've tackled reading, and every grade level has RIT for reading, which is similar to MTSS. Like we've kind of talked about, we don't do walk-to interventions. So we're not mixing up kids grade level yet, which I think would be a good goal for us. Right now, kind of what I would like your guys' feedback on, and my goal is to start doing math because we don't do anything for math MTSS yet. We started talking about last year, but we got a lot of pushback from teachers because they're just now getting comfortable with reading MTSS. So that's kind of where I'm coming to you guys with is baby steps to introduce math. So we have, most grade levels have some kind of their own form of math MTSS where kids are doing something independently and then teachers are just pulling, but not with fidelity and not every grade level. So that's one of my goals for my district is to start implementing math MTSS, start small and then hopefully work big to where it's everybody's doing it with fidelity every single day. The other goal for my district, my school, is to start using perception data because that's something I really hadn't thought about until this class. And I think we have a lot of room to grow and we can use that. We collect perception data from surveys and stuff like that. We just don't do anything with it. So those are kind of my two goals as I'm on the MTSS committee. And we meet every month and then we're supposed to take stuff back to our PLCs with our grade levels. But I just don't think it's happening quick enough. And so my goal is to get math going. So yeah. You have any questions?
Yeah, tell me more about the makeup of that MTSS committee.
Yeah, so it is 1 to 2 teachers per grade level. And then our reading specialist is the head of it. And our administrator's right now not a part of the meeting. He walks in sometimes and but he's not involved in it really. So it's really just teachers from each grade level. A couple of us spearhead it along with our reading specialist, and we meet each month and we talk about where we're at. We've kind of made a map of MTSS, what it should look like, what all the tier 1 kids are doing, tier 2, tier 3, that kind of stuff.
Which numbers is the survey? What kind of surveys have you sent out?
We do. So the district does a staff one, and right now we don't get to see those results. So that's something we're hoping the principal we can just see general results from. We do a student one as well, and our principal shared out the results with staff members, but it's not discussed or anything like that in a building leadership team meeting or anything like that. So that's a step that I think we can implement towards our MTSS group and hopefully start working on behavior MTSS would be an awesome long range goal. I think right now we need to get math under our belt and then we can start talking about behavior MTSS as well.
Is the aim of that MTSS committee solely reading right now?
It was last year. This year we've started talking about math. And this month I brought to the table, let's talk about little steps we can take towards math. So what's something we want to have done by Christmas for math? Whether that be every grade level is implementing small groups in math as a start, or every grade level is at least seeing their tier 3 groups twice a week, something like that. So we're one-to-one technology this year for the first time ever. So a lot of the older grades are using that to get their small group time in. A lot of us younger grades already do like math centers and stuff, so it's easier for us. But the older grades are taking a little bit longer to get there, which I get. So.
Well, I would say, just to agree that as far as the how we get started in math from coming somewhere that is on the other side of MTSS with kind of some kickback. Just starting with one day, we're starting with one day a week.
Yeah.
move to 2 or 3? Or can we do a 6-week rotation where we do 6 weeks of reading, 6 weeks of math, reevaluate, kind of that rotation is what I was thinking about. You were asking.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. I like the 1 day a week thing because I think that's manageable. I mean, anybody can commit to 1 day a week, I think. I like that. That's a good idea.
I like starting small as well. And I think the other thing you might consider is setting up some quick impact cycles. So saying like, here's a very specific skill we're all going to focus on, whether that be like place value or whatever. So, every grade level, maybe do a quick assessment around where your kids are at with it, make a plan, intervene, come back around and assess it. Because if you can get a quick win, you can begin to build some efficacy in your staff, and then they may have a little more belief that they can do it again and again, and then it can maybe build from there rather than trying to tackle the whole system right out of the gate. So.
Okay, that's a good idea. Well, I have a question. Do you guys have any other questions? No? Okay. So one thing I was going to ask you, Spencer, is this past month we were talking about with math, we don't have near as many data points. Like for reading, we have Dibbles and STAR and all this other stuff, For math, that's the hard part is, okay, how do you group? And that's kind of where we're at right now is how are you going to choose? Do teachers just get to choose who they need to pull? Is it off of data? So we're talking about, I think it's called Easy CBM, which is kind of like a part of Dibbles. Do you guys know of any other good math screeners or I can't think of the other word, data points to pull for math except for curriculum assessments?
Yeah, FastBridge, Dibbles, Ames Web, Easy CBM, all of those are going to be just basically normative based assessments. They're going to say, in general, here's where your kid's at.
Okay.
Here's whether it should be alarming or not. So you'll get great data from Easy CBM, but it'll be general data. And so it'll maybe flag a kid who's like, hey, this kid's performing way below his peers. And then the additional data point you're going to need is mastery data points to say, okay, what is the actual content we need to target with him? Kindergarten wouldn't apply as much, but with older grades, oftentimes what we do is we start by backwards testing. So let's say if it was one of Daniel's kiddos at 4th grade, I would maybe give the 3rd grade and then the 2nd grade and the 1st to find where is it that the kid's actual learning is, along the normal curve or within that average range. And then at that point, we would say, okay, maybe we found it was 2nd grade. What's the critical concepts of 2nd grade? And we'd give a mastery assessment to say, where are they at in 2nd grade content? And let's start with intervention there.
And that's where the walk to intervention, I feel like, would really come in handy.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And often the other hard part another thing that comes in handy is if you have an intervention curriculum that has a placement test.
Yes.
But without that, it's challenging.
Okay.
So.
Awesome. That helps. Thanks. All right. Do you guys have anything else for me?
I was just going to note front row, if you haven't looked into that, it's got some interesting stuff also. And then after you take that assessment, it kind of push them up the line where they're at. So it will be algebraic thinking.
Okay.
Given the assessment, then it'll place them on the line, whether they're at the beginning stages or more advanced.
Is that a web program or an app, or what is that? I've heard of it before.
Yeah, that's a website, and the kids can use it as an app. It has reading and math. I specifically used it for math.
Okay. Do you know if does it cost the district?
No, it doesn't cost a dime. They have a free version and they have a paid for version.
Oh, okay.
We always use the free version.
Okay, cool. Thanks. That's helpful. All right.
I applaud you in you're pushing your district forward in a lot of ways there. So I applaud you just for your work in that. It's great.
Thanks. It's a little tricky because you get this is the way it's always been. I'm like, okay, well, you get that a lot. I'm like, all right, well, sometimes that's okay and sometimes it's not. So.
Yeah. What does the data say, right?
Right. All right, well, thank you.
That's the one that's like the worst words in the English dictionary. Right?
Oh, yeah.
This is how we've always done.
Oh, yeah. It happened 3 times today in conversations.
Good. Yeah.